Hi, and welcome to this PM and Friends podcast.
I really want to put that straight that the behavior of the Belgian youth is not very negative. It's not going to lockdown parties most of the times. Most of the people, the young people, are really following those measures. They keep inside, they do the social distancing, and they're really worried about the situation as well as we do as adults.
What you just heard was an excerpt of a talk I had with Kim de Raad, a very good colleague of mine at PM Risk, Rise and Change. She's been very inspiring to me throughout this whole COVID-19 lockdown. She keeps up coming up with good ideas and creative ways on how to take away stress and anxiety within governments, within the public, within health organizations. And yeah, it's just truly amazing to see her coming up with new good practices on how to deal with crisis situations. On my part, I hope you're all very fine and healthy and have good and high spirits and good morale, and that you're also finding ways to help out yourself and also others around you. Let's go listen to Kim and myself having a talk. It will be mostly Kim who will do the talking about her idea to reach a difficult group in society through crisis communications, and it's youth. Let's talk youth today. Kim, crisis advisor at PM, Risk Crisis Change, doing great stuff on crisis communications. Crisis management, of course, but today I would like to talk with you about an initiative that you have taken upon yourself, dealing with students in journalism. What are you doing with those students in journalism today?
Yeah, well, actually, from the start of this corona crisis, I have been very busy in this Facebook group, Communication Pros Against COVID. It's actually a Facebook group with almost 1,500 communication experts offering their services to whoever is in need of any communication support. And you're there too. We've done some initiatives as well for the health sector and government. But one day there was an ex-teacher of mine. I studied journalism at Artevelde College here in Ghent. And my ex-teacher, Sia Meule, she asked the question for her students. Of course, all lessons and internships for those students are cancelled during the corona crisis. And she asked if somebody had a task or an internship for these students, because they also have to do some community service. They have to work 30 hours for the community in Belgium. And of course, that's very difficult in times of corona with the social distancing. You cannot go to an internship or a community or a workplace, in fact. So everything has to be done remotely. So she asked if somebody had a task for her students to do such a kind of community service.
Well, cool. And so you reacted to this post on this Facebook group, and then you started talking with her, and then you proposed something concrete for these students.
Yeah, we didn't have quite a task for these students to do with our PM work, but as you are and as our senior partner Hugo and our freelancer Tim van Achten and myself, we are all members of Team D5. It's an expert group, all volunteers who help out the federal government in times of crisis, or municipalities, cities that are in need of crisis communication and help. We help them out. We can write press releases. We can build a communication strategy. We can analyze perception in Belgian people, what their information needs are, what's their behavior, what's their sentiment towards a crisis. So that's what I do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis right now in this federal phase of corona crisis. So I help out the federal government, the crisis center, with their strategy. I analyze the perception of the Belgian population. And we had a feeling that we could not very good monitor the perception within youth. That's really a target group that's not easy to monitor because they have their own channels, of course, in which they don't let adults very easy in. Also, they have a lot of communities where they share their stories and their experiences, and where we as adults don't have access to. So yeah, that was my idea basically. Just why won't we ask the youth, the students of journalism themselves, to monitor themselves?
Cool.
Like, hey, you guys, can you monitor your own information needs and those of your friends, and your own little communities? What do you need as information? What do you have too much as information? What is your sentiment towards this crisis? Do you have fear? Are you worried about something? And how do you behave in particular?
So just to get it very clear, Kim, so you're working on a voluntary basis now for the Federal Crisis Center of Belgium, as a volunteer in the Team D5 support team, and doing analysis of the Belgian people and advising the Crisis Center on crisis communications.
Yes.
And in that regard, you have engaged the students to look into difficult to reach groups, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so first of all the work we do as a Team D5 member, it's always voluntarily, so we never charge the crisis center. We do it all because we want to help, of course. We have this expertise in crisis communication, and we as members of Team D5, we are gladly willing to help them out. And the monitoring is the most easy step to do right now from home.
Exactly. Yeah.
So indeed, I'm on a daily basis. I am monitoring this Belgian population, and I was trying to monitor youth as well, but it's very hard. So it comes in very handy if these students who study journalism can monitor themselves, and they don't work directly for the crisis center, of course. They work for me as an advisor to the crisis center. They stay at home. They are all in their cot, as we say here in Belgium, and it stays just a task for school as they're part of a community service.
Okay, very cool. Are they trained to analyze their social media? Do they use the same principles as we do?
I made a short webinar to train these students, of course, explaining the work process crisis communications in total, but specifically the monitoring part. So they use the same templates as we do as Team D5 members. So basically the information needs, the behavior part, the sense-making, sentiment part. And they're using all their own channels. So also TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, Twitter, of course, and just offline talks with their friends, just a phone call where they ask their friends what are their information needs. So they really use our best practices and standards to analyze it themselves. Yeah.
What are the results? How is their advice seeping through the advice to the crisis center?
Mm-hmm. Well, the main focus is quite similar to the rest of the Belgian population, I guess. It's a lack of perspective for the future. When will this corona crisis be over? When will the measures be more flexible? When can we go out again, of course? But in specific, they have a lot of questions regarding their future in school career. Mm-hmm. When will their exams be? Will they be offline or online? When can they see their friends in school again? Will they be able to graduate this year? Will this year have a big impact on their career when they start working, for example? Will there be a lot of offers to start working for them, or will economics keep on recline even further? So a lot of questions and uncertainties for those people.
Also there, you see, also there, it's the whole of the society who is living in uncertainty right now, and youth is apparently not spared from this. Do you also see, because in other analysis, in other groups of people, we see fear is a really dominant factor of type of emotion that we analyze. Do you see with the youth, how do they compare fear? Is there a lot of fear in their analysis?
I really think you're right there. They have a lot of fear, and mostly to do with their future, of course, but also they fear to infect their grandparents as well. So there is a big perception among the Belgian population that these youth, that they keep going to lockdown parties and they don't change their behavior, and they're not interested in Corona. But I think it's the opposite. They're also really scared and really concerned about the future and about themselves, about their families and friends. So I really want to put that straight, that the behavior of the Belgian youth is not very negative. It's not going to lockdown parties most of the times. Most of the people, the young people, are really following those measures. They keep inside, they do the social distancing, and they're really worried about the situation as well as we do as adults.
Wow, we have so good young people in Belgium. It's great. I was just thinking of my youth. I'm turning 40 soon, and I was thinking, would I follow all those measures and guides and rules when I was like half my age now, 20 or something? I don't know. Yeah, probably I would, but I don't know. Okay, very, very nice, Kim. The next steps in this, how is this project or this initiative that you took is going to evolve? Is there something more tangible for the future?
At the beginning of the project, these students were monitoring on a daily basis. So I gave them feedback on a daily basis, what they should focusing on more, or I asked for their advice. For example, when they said to me, yeah, we have a lot of impact from these influencers. Then, of course, I asked them, yeah, what kind of influencer would you propose then? Because I don't know those youth influencers. But right now, we just do it 2 times a week. So they analyze for more separate days, and then they come back with an advice to me on Tuesday and on Friday. Of course, I will follow this up. I will continue on giving them feedback, of course. And I hope that the students will love the expertise of crisis communication, and will think about it. If they're journalists in a later stage, that they will think back of this period of time and they know that the back end of crisis communication, where it all starts for a journalist, is also very important. So and I hope to be able to follow it up a little bit with the college as well. As I already mentioned, I studied there myself, so it would be very lovely to be able to teach there as well in the future. It's something I would love to do.
Mm-hmm. And I know just that you have a lot of insights right now. You're gaining a lot of insights in how our country, Belgium, is actually coming to a communication strategy to cope with this lockdown, but also now the governance is shifting towards leaving our houses again, picking up the threats, the exit strategies that are going around. So you're also part of that, very closely monitoring what is decided there and how it's communicated, giving your advice there. So I'm really looking forward to some of your findings later on.
Of course, just like any other PM advisor, just like you and Robert and Julien, we have a lot of expertise both in crisis management and crisis communications, and we already give workshops and trainings to high schools, universities, colleges. But of course, we and me myself, I'm very willing to give insights on this Corona crisis later this year, of course, to universities or colleges.
Makes me think of what you said earlier on the webinar that you made. Can students visit that webinar, or do you have it recorded somewhere? And
Yes, of course, it's recorded. It's a basic introduction on the work process crisis communication and how the federal government is working these days. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but it's a really best practice, the work process crisis communication. It was used during the attacks 4 years ago here in Belgium, and now it's used on a daily basis again during this corona crisis. Even the Financial Times made a very good article about it with lots of compliments for the Belgian government, who really do good work. They on their daily press conference with a strategy that's different every day, highlighting another topic every day. So my webinar is just based on that basic principle. We've recorded it. It's on our YouTube, of course, and of course it will be on the website of PM as well. So go to pm.be or just send me an email, kim@pm.be, and I will gladly share it with you.
Very cool. At PM, we're disseminating pre-corona knowledge all the time because our field of crisis management, crisis communication is going to change drastically due to corona and all this economic recession and this global fear and change in all sectors so much. So we talk about pre-corona knowledge and post-corona knowledge. We're trying to create this right now, but we're disseminating all our knowledge via our channels. Maybe just to round up some shout out to Peter Mertens and his team from the federal government. Keep up the good work. And yeah, you're in there, to Kim, as a member of his team right now. So you as well. Take care. Keep on doing the great stuff for the country. And yeah, we'll talk soon once again for a couple of weeks more via this distance calls, video chat.
Okay.
But still, talk to you later, Kim.
Yeah, thank you for the talk, Stijn. Goodbye.
Bye.
This was the PM and Friends podcast for today. Take care, have fun, stay sane. Until next time.